The government is now looking to ban TikTok for like the 5th time, but here's the deal. This time, it is probably for real. All thanks to this new bipartisan bill called the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary-Controlled Applications Act. And it would create a process for the president to identify certain social media applications that are under the control of foreign adversaries. And then once an app is determined to be a risk, it would be banned from app stores and web hosting services unless it severed ties with its parent company in the next 180 days. So essentially, TikTok would need to sell itself to another company or break away entirely from ByteDance. Otherwise, they would be banned. One of the sponsors of this bill, Mike Gallagher, saying, "This is my message to TikTok. Break up with the Chinese Communist Party or lose access to your American users. America's foremost adversary has no business controlling a dominant media platform in the United States." It's expected to make its way out of the Energy and Commerce Committee today and be sent to the House floor for a future vote. And very notably, it got a very powerful endorsement: the White House, with him telling reporters we would want to see this bill get done so it can get to the president's desk, though adding they don't see this as a ban on TikTok, instead saying that this is about making sure that companies aren't owned by countries that want to do us harm. Right? And this is Congress is worried that the Chinese government could use TikTok to access Americans' personal data as well as show them videos that could influence their views on various issues. And with all this, you have TikTok not taking this lightly. Though just a quick sidebar before we get to TikTok's response, TikTok is technically lying when they call this bill an outright ban. Right? As was mentioned, they can avoid a ban by selling. But this, as we've seen TikTok go on the offensive by quote tweeting several US officials and saying, "This bill is an outright ban of TikTok no matter how much the authors try to disguise it. This legislation will trample the First Amendment rights of 170 million Americans and deprive 5 million small businesses of a platform they rely on to grow and create jobs." And today, they actually sent a notification to their users telling them Congress is planning a total ban of TikTok. Speak up now before your government strips 170 million Americans of their constitutional right to free expression, with it then directing users to put in their zip code and then it has them call their representatives. So you have TikTok rallying their users, it's creating havoc on Capitol Hill. Congressional offices being bombarded with calls from users, and one House GOP staffer telling Politico, "It's so bad. Our phones have not stopped ringing." There are teenagers and old people saying they spend their whole day on the app and we can't take it away. With some staffers saying they're easily going to get over 1,000 calls today and that some users are being rude, using vulgar names. Which I want to note here, the people who are answering phones at your congressional offices, they are not your Congress people. They are the courier, they are the scribe. You're yelling at the cashier about the prices. Right? Understand, these people are writing down your concerns so your representative can read them. There is no reason to be absolutely brutal to these working class people. Like, yes, you are free to express your frustrations. Just understand who you're actually talking to here. That said, with this whole situation, we saw Mike Gallagher hitting back at TikTok's message, saying if you actually read the bill, it's not a ban, it's a divestiture, and adding that the bill puts the decision squarely in the hands of TikTok to sever their relationship with the Chinese Communist Party. With that, adding that if they do, they'll survive. And what's also interesting is TikTok's move today, it may have actually backfired because one well-connected Republican actually told Politico that this is, quote, incensing members who are on the fence and are now leaning towards voting for Gallagher's bill. And also a Democratic senior staffer saying it seems to be backfiring with Democratic members as well. With what seems to be an increasing number of people saying what TikTok did here, it feels like a CCP bullying tactic. And if these sources are telling it like it is, they may actually be accelerating their departure either from ByteDance or the United States. But as far as how this is actually going to play out, we're going to have to wait and see. Though again, the bill right now does have widespread support across Congress and it has the support of the White House. And actually, just last second update as we were uploading today's show, the bill just passed the House Energy and Commerce Committee with a 50-0 unanimous vote. So it appears that TikTok's tactics, they either didn't work or they completely backfired. We now have Steve Scalise saying he's putting the bill on the floor soon.